Greetings everybody, welcome to G4G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at the pre-update questing, I guess you could say, for Marvel's X-Men to come to Marvel Future Fight. So this is a little bit different than the standard events that we typically see. It is more of the big style event, and it's can be frustrating for some people. I'll give it that. So let's jump right in, talk about the event quests, and then we'll do some. So you will see the little button over here that looks like a compass, and you will discover that there are 10 quests that you can do during a day, which nets you 50 tokens. None of the individual quests will give you any tokens. And as you can see here, there is not a store. So it ends in about a week. I believe June 6th is when it ends, and May 29th, which is the filming of this today, is when it started. So let us go through the list and kind of discuss a few things here. So this is a very binary. It's a very black and white quest. Unlike some others where if you do this, you get a token, you do this, you get a token. This is all or nothing. You have to do all of it. Otherwise, you get diddly squat. And this is where I think this will unfortunately hurt some people. Let's talk about it. So the 11th mission is to do all 10. You get 50 of the gene tokens over here. Haha, very nice. Reclassing Marvel Future Fight. We have genetics. We have DNA representing the X-Men. So, timeline battle 5 times every single day. It doesn't say win or lose, so that is not particularly bad. I tend to do... It all depends on my timing. Sometimes I do my one and done for the daily. Oh, by the way, let's get this out of the way right at the beginning. A lot of these do overlay what you do daily anyway, but sometimes more. So, participating in 5 PvPs in a day. There was a time when PvP had changed, when you didn't get the list, that re-rolling your PvP got progressively and aggressively more and more expensive. Obviously, that's been fixed. I no longer have that complaint. You can re-roll to your heart's content. 5 win or lose really isn't particularly bad. And on the beginning of a reset, you have that 10. You get that weekly for doing the 10 anyway. Unfortunately, I just did that last night. Had I known, I might have just done one and done yesterday and then maybe devoted some time today. But this is not particularly awful because it doesn't say you have to win. So if you are a casual player, this one is not awful, but maybe a little frustrating. Daily potential danger. And also at the lower levels, you can probably let autoplay do this and win. When you get up to vibranium and adamantium, you really probably don't want to do that. Villain Siege times 3. Now, this one used to be a bit of an issue for me. I used to be able to get 2 and not always get the 3rd. Now, that's been a long time ago, but there was a certain period of time in which that 3rd Villain Siege, which was extremely rough. This one could be out of reach slightly of beginners and casuals, but not... It's borderline. Obviously, well-versed and older players are not going to have an issue with this. Because you don't necessarily have to go for the exact 3 that they're saying. You could have a carry and then 2 out of the 3 and still get some pretty good results from it. So don't be afraid of that if your roster can tackle at least, you know, you have one really, really good character like a Sharog or an Enchantress or a Doctor Strange that can carry that final Villain Siege. Alliance battle, one per day. Okay, this is the one that I have the biggest issue with. So, not this Christmas time, but the year before. So, around the border of 2015, 2016, I believe we had a major event at the time that was like this. And one of the quests was to do Alliance stuff. And I was a member of AP for Marvel Avengers Alliance when MAA was entering into its last year, was going to die eventually, sad as it was. Stormbringer, AP Stormbringer, aka Sumiyoshi, invited me because of doing the videos on YouTube and sort of representing a different way of approaching a lot of things from Kingfisher. And I will always say I don't say anything bad about KF. He was literally the king of the YouTube community when it came to that. Certainly the reason why I got into doing videos. We just took different tacks. And we also covered different subjects. And that wasn't necessarily on purpose. That were just his style versus mine. If we both aimed at the same things, I think it would have been kind of boring to be like, well, Napalm does the exact same thing that Kingfisher does. That's bullshit. It's boring. So we had, we were both in the same community, but we had just different things in our videos. Mine tended to be a little longer. His was shorter. I tended to go for music in mine. I had real world adventures in MAA, so my failures were there. My very good ideas were there. My ideas were there. It just, I really do miss those days. But my point was, I was with AP for MAA, and I said, hey, can I get in so that I could do this line stuff? And that's what started me in a Marvel Future Fight Alliance, and that's where I am today. This one bugs me for the casual player. Now, I have to do an AB and an ABEX every day. The AB is a guarantee. I mean, I absolutely have to do that. But for the ABX, that's a matter of where my progression is. That's where I'm trying to get better and get better scores, get better teams going in there. One out of the two is necessary. And really what it means is just your standard AB in a day. Because you have to do the AB to get to the ABEX or the ABX. ABEX is just what I'm going to call it. So what this means is that win or lose, you have to participate in an alliance battle daily. If you're in an alliance, even if you fail miserably, just do it. It's going to consume a little bit of time, obviously, but it nets you this. If you're not in an alliance, this is where I feel for you, and I'm sorry. I kind of hate the fact that they are forcing that on people. I was in that position at one point in time where I didn't have an alliance for that kind of step. And I think that is unfair. Because this is such a huge update, such a sweeping change to the game, such a joy and happy-inducing item to taint it with the salty rage of being a solo player and going, what? I have to do this to get my tokens? And I don't know what the tokens are going to get me yet, so I have to be in an alliance to do an AB to even get the one thing that I can do about tokens. Like we said, feast or famine, you have to do all 10 of these to get your tokens. There is no analog of this. It's very digital, 1 and 0. There is no 1.5 or 1.2 or 0.75. So that's a problem, and if you are unallianced or ungilded, if we were to use a WoW term, or unclanned in FPS, I feel sorry for you. And I would encourage you maybe to write into them and say, can that be replaced by something else? Because it's a little unfair. I would agree that I think being forced into an alliance to do an AB is unfair, but hey, maybe there are forums where people are like, I'm looking for an alliance. Does anybody have space? Maybe like the I need friends thread from Marvel Avengers Alliance. Like, hey, I have 10 friends. I need more for the Spec Ops. Where can I find people? One ISO enhance a day is not particularly bad. And this is where, in reality, when you look at these quests, there are basically only 6 quests in here. Because 2 of them double up. But we'll get to that. So you have to enhance an ISO daily, which is not too bad. You have to upgrade a card daily, which is one of the ones that I sort of grimace at a little bit. It means you have to do a rift in a given day, unless you are getting cards in another way. But you basically have to run through a rift. The good thing is now we can open rifts manually, which is different from how it used to be. So this, while a little time consuming in your daily practice, is not necessarily that bad. Upgrade a custom gear. So upgrade an Obelisk once a day. Clear 10 story missions in a day. Clear 2 dailies in a day. So this is 2 out of 2 basically. Clear 5 specials in a day. Clear 5 rift stages in a day. In reality, I take that back. It is maybe only about 5 quests out of the 10 instead of 6. Here's why. So in order to update your ISOs, you do dailies to get feeder gems or feeder ISOs. So that is actually 1 quest. So now we're down to 8 instead of 10 because 2 of them are doubled up. Dimension Rift and the cards, that's another double up. Special missions give you feeder obelisks. So in reality, you aren't doing that much work out of your standard dailies. And yeah, okay, so 10 stories instead of 1. But in all honesty, if you have clear tickets, you just hit the 10 button on a mission and you're good to go. If all your chapter 12s are unlocked, you get Urus out of them and you don't have to sit there and fight through them again. Just hit the fucking button. I personally have had a feeder team, or I should say a leveling team, doing the Coulson mission 10 times a day for getting his BIOS to T2 him for use. Sometimes I will hit the button on a Uru mission if I'm running a little low on that Uru and everything. Be glad, if you think about it, thank Netmarble for not making you do like an Uru amplification or an Uru upgrade in a day. That would really start putting it out of the way of the casual player. So, let's look at what these might represent. Clash of ideas and potential danger. Not too sure there. Potential danger, if he wasn't already in the game, would make me think of Spider-Man with Spidey senses. Clearly it's not that, but Clash of ideas and potential danger, I'm not too sure what they would be. Extraordinary mission, obviously. Extraordinary person, X-Men. Beast Unleashed, good God. I mean, we're just going to skip that one. Energy absorption. Not that I think we would see him, but Bishop absorbed energy. He absorbed it in MAA. He did it in the movie. That's just what Bishop does. I don't think it would necessarily be Bishop. It almost makes me think Havok, potentially, could do that. The fact that he could absorb cosmic radiation, cosmic energy. Power of the cards, Gambit. Brain and Brutal also makes me think Beast. But we have Beast Unleashed. Now, Brutal could be Wolverine. I believe he's considered like just generally one of the most brutal heroes in the Marvel universe, along with Deadpool. Brain and Brutal, just Beast. I can't imagine who else that would be based on. That is also, is brutal, but also is extremely smart. If we're just talking about heroes, now obviously there would be brutal and intelligent villains. Magneto, for example, on this one. But I think it's another reference to Beast. Gale Way, Gale, Weather, Storm. Millionaire Life. A millionaire X-Men. I don't... This one I'm not too sure about. I really don't know who would be a millionaire X-Men or a millionaire mutant villain. I mean, I see millionaire and I just think Tony Stark. I mean, I think Iron Man. I don't... My brain does not go in the direction of mutants for this one. Shaw... I mean, Shaw was portrayed as being rich in MAA to a certain degree. I don't really know on that one. Kingpin's another one I could think of. I don't know if he's ever been a millionaire, but Indomitable Will makes me think of Colossus. Master of Dimensions. So you're probably going to get angry at me for this one, but I don't immediately think of... I can't immediately think of something on this one. I don't have a knee-jerk reaction to it like the Millionaire one. Magic, you know, portals with limbo and reality, maybe. I mean, to me, I think more like Dormammu for Dimensions, not an X-Man, but potentially Magic on that one. That's about the only spot my brain goes to on that one. And if that's Colossus with Indomitable Will, Master of Dimensions could certainly be Magic. So, let us go ahead and start doing some of this stuff. So, I always go to Daily 6. And what I do is, this is what I call a leveling team. It features somebody who is leveling up their uniform. So, my favorite, Miss Marvel. Hate that one. Kind of about that one. This is my favorite Miss Marvel outfit in almost any game that she has that outfit. Maybe sounds sexist, but yeah, I like that one. And it features some people who are leveling. So, actually, I need to take Rocket out, because he is maxed out right now. So, usually, it is a high-level person that is doing a carry, that is doing uniform upgrades, and it's also a few people who just need to level. So I need to find somebody who is not capped out. We'll get Karnak in here. Well, actually, no. We'll get Mockingbird. So this is a team that does all my I don't need my best team stuff on a given day. And like my dailies, my stories, my specials, it's usually got a T2 who's trying to bump up a uniform, and then it has people who just need levels. So I just let the stuff go on autoplay. Now, this is a double up quest. Not only will it give me my... Well, actually, if you think about it, it's a triple. It's my daily, no pun intended. It's my double daily for the mission. And it gives me feeder gems, or feeder ISOs, to do the upgrade ISO task. And honestly, don't underestimate a T2 Miss Marvel. She's better than you could give her credit for. Plus, in reality, if you needed it, you could always use Ronan to bump her up, because Ronan likes to bump up universals. But she is actually world boss capable. And for Superhero Universal Day, she is who I use for that. Again, my ABX or ABEX is not the best thing in the world. I'm not, the version of AP that I'm in is not competitive in the Alliance tournament, but my ABX or my ABEX scores are not the best in the world. I don't claim to be top tier when it comes to those. Now, an Alliance battle is going to be hard to film, and I'm not actually going to do for this, due to the fact that I like my touch controls for that. but I can at least do PvP and some of the others. So, let us complete killing 3 birds with 1 stone over here. So, first thing I always do is I go to my inventory and I see how many things I have. So, I'm at 541. I like to stay at like 520 or below. So, I pick a character where I've been working on their ISOs a little bit. And with the recent changes to Captain America, so my cap had always been Lady Cap for like a long time. Hearing about some of his changes now, I've changed him over to Marvel Now Cap, which I do believe is one of the best. So I've been working on his ISOs a little bit. Now, I have not touched him in a long time, which is why you see so many crap ISOs on him. So what I'm going to do is give him an all attack over here. And then we will enhance it. I like to sort by rank, but then I do an auto pick. I make sure I have no 1s. And I'll just use the 2s for the daily. So the easy thing is, you know that there's 5. So do it 4 times, and I've burnt my 20. Fortunately, I'm out. But I have some excess of 3s, so I like to stay around 20 of each. So I will dip into the 3-star range for feeders when necessary, when I have too many of a particular color. So here I'm at 25. Just giving another 5 over there. And eventually we will get those upgraded. So now I've killed 3 birds with 1 stone. I've done a regular daily. I've done 2 of these dailies over here. So now we have to do 5 PvPs. This can be a little dicey right now. So Sharog is still a restricted character. And I actually like that to a certain degree because it keeps PvP fresh a little bit. If you're just so sick of constantly running into Doctor Stranges and you're like, oh my god, I can't beat a Doctor Strange because I'm frozen all the time, or Sharogs, like, oh my god, Sharogs just murder my face. This gives you a breather for a period of time. You're like, yay, I don't have to worry about... Ow. Usually Enchantress gets out of that. And believe it or not, even though there is definitely the advantage to Doctor Strange here, my Carnage tends to do okay against him because of the iframes that he gets. And again, I usually like to do PvP in full control, just for the harder fights. But for the sake of this particular video, I'm just going to be doing it on the emulator and having to button mash my way through. Normally, I have Sharog in my #1 spot, and with her uniform, she takes out anything. Really. I mean, even Doctor Strange's, unless the Doctor Strange is ridiculously overpowered, she can even live through a Doctor Strange rotation now. So let's see if Enchantress makes it out of this one. Nope. But the good thing is none of the time freezes carry over to the Carnage now, which is nice. I could put my Doctor Strange in the first spot. But that almost just seems not fun. You know, I want a little bit of a challenge out of the PvP, which is why I don't rearrange it. So we've got 1 done for the daily. We've got 2 done for the quest. And another Doctor Strange here. Sometimes I will just skip till I see not Doctor Strange's or whatever, but... Alright, so she made it out this time. So now it's my turn. Except I should have gone to that one. See, this is where it's bad for Carnage. When he jumps in and he's caught in the time stop. It's bad. If I can avoid the time stop pattern... Come on, yay! Go Carnage! So I honestly believe Carnage will clear the rest of this without too much issue. And I know there are emulators where people will do keyboard commands, like they'll map the keyboard basically to the directional touch joystick and everything. I've just never bothered. Damn, Iron Fist is hanging in there. But Carnage won. So we've got 3 out of the 5 done. Ooh, a wasp one. I think I'll skip that. I'll take it. Kind of getting sick of Doctor Strange, but what can you do? I mean, he's built that way. We'll only have 1 more after this one. It's kind of a shame that you can't have all of your abilities right out from the get-go, but it's certainly understandable with how powerful certain characters are. Ooh, this one might be a loss. That was pretty bad. Should be okay now. But Elsa can generally hold her own for not too long. Okay, never mind. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Damn. A T2 Yellow Jacket honestly is strong. I wouldn't underestimate a T2 Yellow Jacket. Oh no. Big pile of no on that one. I myself need to get a lot more of my native T2s up and running. I have procs and Corvus Glaive is getting there. I think I will go for the big boys after Corvus. I'll like try and work on an Odin or a Dormalama Ding Dong. See, when Enchantress gets established, she's pretty decent. And actually, I've seen very little of her in PvP, considering just how strong she is. So, yep, this is where Enchantress's reign's gonna end. Carnage is not in the time stop. However, it took a huge pounding before the iframes kicked in. And my Doctor Strange finished it off. So I do believe that is my 5 for that. Huh, a Blade and a Black Widow, not even T2 with the Doctor Strange. So, Alliance Battle, I'm going to have to pass on doing here in the video. So, skipping that one, because that's at the end of it. I like the fact that Villain Siege is going to give somebody BAM. I mean, it's a tiny little bit of it, but that is pretty nice, because BAM is definitely quite the premium currency within the game. I mean, 5 is dinky. You're only going to wind up with 35 of them by the end, which really is not going to amount to much. But it's a start. So it's really not much for the big players, but for a casual, it's something. And wow, Songbird just one-shot bullseye over there. And don't forget, another thing that you could do for the augmenting your ISO is to do the... So I'm going to have to run a carry here on this one. You can always do co-op and get the actual growth ISOs. Pretty sure I used Ant-Man as a carry against Kingpin yesterday too. So even if you struggle with some of these missions, at least it's only 7 days worth. So you just gotta kind of suck it up for a week. Although I still say it is not particularly fair to require an alliance battle for this, because they were just solo players that, you know, it might not be a matter of the fact that they're not good enough for an alliance. It could just be that that's who they are. They just like being solo, or they don't like the pressure of being in an alliance and having to maintain a certain score per day. So that is, you know, a definite possibility. So we'll have Sharog carry this one. My Groot is getting there towards a T2. He is one of the probably next people I will T2, but with the X-Men coming, probably not going to be in the biggest hurry for that. We'll wait and see. It would be really nice if you could take your 20 a day sub and bank them until then. Just like not turn them in, and then a week from now, you know, you have like 140 some odd bios you could cash in. Telling you, upgrade, if you get this uniform for Sharog, which makes her considerably less attractive, but you get that uniform and you upgrade it a couple ranks, you will be amazed at how she just slaughters everything you put in front of her. My ABs where I get to use her now are ridiculously fast compared to what they used to be. Let's try to do an Obelisk update. So I'm just going to pick a random person just to get into the Obelisk area. So I had been working on this one just simply as a feeder. So when I go through my specials, I'll basically have a few cheesy ones there that I could use to upgrade that. That'll cover that quest. So what is interesting is that you have to do about 5 specials. That's pretty good. That should give you enough feeder obelisks to go in. That's going to leave me with Dimension Rift and cards, special and custom gear, and for story. So what I was referencing earlier, I typically like to auto run the Coulson one with that Marvel team for both leveling and the uniform experience, but another thing I can do is, so let's see, 73 of those, 3 of those. I can just see clear, max 10. Decent source of gold, also Urus. And taking a look over here. Event quest, we're now up to 5. So that one was story mission times 10. And you come out as, well, that's a gear upgrade. If they gave you clear tickets, that would be nice, because then you would come out ahead. Like if you use 10 but then gain 20, that would be a nice net gain over there. So that leaves me with 1 AB, which is just a solo thing. There's no other things tied to this. Card and Rift, custom gear and special. And the energy, I mean, obviously my energy's good. My gold has dipped a little bit recently. I was at like 34-ish. 34 million, but I was working on Corvus a little bit. So he is ready to go, on his way to 60 now. He's 6 stars. And I just need to upgrade that. So, knowing that we get 5, okay, even for just upgrading a piece of gear on him, we're only going to get 35, but it takes 10 to do this once. So in this case, I got lucky. It's only costing me 20 over there, but still, I mean, that's... The BAM that we're getting from this is a drop in the bucket. In all honesty, the Chaos Stones is better. This one over here, the Norn Stones of Chaos, is a little bit better than just the BAM. But that's what we're looking at for the pre-event over here. Let me know what you guys think of it. Do you think it's interesting? Do you share some of the complaints that I have, like the Forced Alliance battle? That's the one that I feel bad for people. So, thanks for watching the video, and hopefully we'll be back in a week, and we'll be discussing the new X-Men released in the game. Peace out, everybody.